Mhm. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's Corrine, obviously. Thanks so much for joining me today. I'm a little late on getting my April update for my organizing challenge. I'm actually pretty happy. I was thinking I didn't get a lot done last month, but I was kind of looking around, just tidying up a little bit before I started recording here, and actually I did get a little bit more done than I thought I would. I did have a few days in April. It's not usually as busy of a month for me. Last couple of week or so has been pretty busy. Just trying to get a bunch of other things done, and so yeah, it's coming along pretty good. So I'm just going to give you a quick tour update of where things are at, and then I'm kind of come back to this screen and have a little chat. So I'm just going to move you onto my phone camera here. So just give me a minute while I uh, switch it over here. Super, super non-techie, as I have said. That's okay. Come on. There we go. All right. So the first thing that I've done, so you can see over here, okay, so over there kind of by the stairs, I finally managed to get all of my Christmas stuff away. And those are still the boxes. I managed to take up a bit of some of the garbage and stuff like that. Those are the boxes that I managed to unpack this month, or last month, I guess that would be. So I'm hoping you guys can see all of that. Um, yeah, so it's coming along pretty good. I'm very excited because I'm going to be getting a bathroom door, hopefully in the next month or so. So that's pretty exciting. Um, yeah. So I had hubby. Sorry, I just got a couple of things here on the floor that I'm going to trip over. So hubby put up my pegboards over here and put some of my cards that I've received from friends over there. I also put the um, punches that I'm going to be keeping because I have a bunch that I'm going to be putting into uh, um, a garage sale. So those I'm going to be keeping. So I put those over here just on the little trays right there. So I'm kind of excited about that. I cleared out a couple of boxes from in this area. You can kind of see a little bit more floor space. Don't look at all the dust and everything on there, okay? This one's going to be freebies for garage sale. Those are all Christmas wrap and everything that I in that box that's up there that I have to take upstairs for next year for Christmas. So another big change that I made is I have a lot of paint, and I used to have my Nouveau drops and my foil on this wall, and because I store most of my foil to take with me, I put it in a little storage bin that I have that I take with me, and then these are all of my extras right here. So keeping those, and then I unpacked all of my paints and put those on the wall. So I have the really nice color. I can still see what I have versus keeping it in a bin or something like that. So I'm really happy with how that looks. Table and everything. This is still staying pretty clear, so that means things are working. So that's what I like to see. Over here now, what I've done is I have taken all of my Nouveau drops and put them where I used to store my punches, like the clip punches that I have. Um, so I've moved all of my Nouveau drops because I found I wasn't using them as much. So I wanted to have them out. I also like the color, how cool that looks like that. And then also I got some distress spray stains from a friend, and they can go close to this is where I keep my distressed mica stains. So on my ink tower here that I made. So mostly those are the changes that I've made. I've been purging a lot. I've got a couple of boxes here of things that I've got ready to go for, oh, these are my new ink storage towers. So you can see I've got went over the ink, um, my swatching and how I know. So this one here is my VersaFine Clairs, and then I've got my Element inks right there. So I've got one more tower to come, which is good because VersaFine just brought out a whole whack of colors, all of the pastel colors of those. And I'm really, fingers crossed, hoping to add those to my collection. Um, so that's going to be coming. So I've got the extra tower for that. So I'm happy about that. I'm debating about whether I'm going to keep my, uh, what the heck are those called? Distress inks, that's it. Distress inks and oxides are all now in the turntable shelves that I built. And they're not perfect, so that's, but they work for now, so that's okay. So I'm okay for them to stay like that. This bling tower here, I'm probably gonna get rid of, because I have an idea for come November, December that I want to do over here. So that I'm likely going to get rid of. I use my bling in a different way now, so I don't really need to have it stored like that. That's pretty much it in terms of that. So I'm just gonna turn you around here. Yes, yes, still a mess right here. Yeah. That's still to come, but it's getting closer. So that's actually pretty cool. I'm pretty happy with that. So I'm gonna remove this pin and then just bring this one up instead. And okay, there we go. Yeah, so thanks so much for joining me. I participated in, there was a free YouTube, what did they call it? Seminar, not seminar. Well, it was like a seminar. It was a weekend. It was 2 weekends ago, 3 weekends ago, and it was for free. A lot of YouTubers were putting on, it's called Organize Your Paper Crafters Get Your Space Organized. I think that's what it was called. Don't quote me on that though. And you could attend it. You could do the videos for free for the day. And I got a few really helpful tips. A lot of stuff I knew already, but a lot of things it was like, oh yeah, I could just tweak this here, tweak that there. It's always really interesting to see how people organize their space and what they've tried, because as I've said before, you know, how you craft and how you choose to organize your space is very personal, and what works for you, because what works for one person may not work for you, and vice versa. So sometimes it's a lot of trial and error, and you know, which can get really expensive. So sometimes it's really nice to see uh, what people are doing, and what they've managed to do. And you know, watching them, some of them, you know, they just had big bins, which I've done, you know, that kind of slide in, slide out, but they were a whole hodgepodge mess in there. And what I found for myself is that I don't like to go into those then, because it just makes me feel like I have to clean it. So I would rather have something that I could have organized, right? Like have specific spots for things. I like to have a certain amount of my supplies out so that I can see it. Paper doesn't necessarily need to be out. It's just what's most convenient. Like I've got it all. I can't necessarily see it all. I just kind of know what I have, or if I'm thinking of a particular project, I'll go over and, you know, flip through my 12 by 12, or what have I got for 8.5 by 11 kind of thing, those kind of things. So I'll do that. So I don't necessarily have to have that all visible and so that I can see it all or something like that. But things like my Nouveau drops, if they're too far away, like, and realistically, over here, right, like where I've got my paints and stuff now, that wasn't that far away. It's not that far away, but sometimes when you're in the zone, you don't want to have to get up to go get something. You're just like in it. So it's easier to just kind of turn around and stretch for that versus having to go, like, you know, because my chair's on wheels or whatever. You know, without judging, you the best thing that you can do is be as honest with yourself as possible. The reality is going over there was more than I was willing to do often when I was crafting. So that doesn't work. So I have all of these beautiful colors and all of these beautiful products that I wasn't using. So let's try bringing them closer so that I use them more, because otherwise they're just gonna eventually go bad or whatever, go stale, or you know, solidify in there. I mean, it takes a long time for something like that to happen. But if I left it open or whatever, then I've got this perfectly good supply that I've never bothered to use, simply because, truthfully, I was a little too lazy to go over there and get that. But that's just what my creative process is like. So there's no point in fighting with that. Let me work within what my creative process is. Would I like to be the kind of person that would get up and go and search for that? Yes, I would. But the reality is I'm not, because that supply tends to come at the end of my craft making session, right? It's the little zhuzhing that's going on at the end or something like that, versus I start usually with paper. I mean, I have an idea or a supply, like if I'm going to make my own backgrounds or something like that, I'll start with my distress sprays and an embossing folder. That's the technique. And then those are the kinds of things that it's like, okay, I'm just adding that on at the end. Or, you know I'm going to be coloring. Okay, so I can bring those things out those are the things that are easier to come out. But I want all of that to be together then. I want all of my watercolor supplies together. I want all of my alcohol ink supplies together. All of my background sprays, like my distress sprays, my the mica sprays that I love. I want all of those together. I have all of my dyes together, unless it's got a matching stamp set. All of my dyes are together. Um, those kind of things. I have my stamps separated into different categories, but kind of all in the same area versus having stamps over there and stamps over here and stamps over there. And I mean, I do still have some over there, so that's an area that is a work in progress. But I have found that the system that I'm using so far is working, and I've been using it for about a year. I just haven't filtered the last few from there over to where I want them to be. So that's also the next thing. So I've got a few more, I don't know, probably about 10-15 boxes to go through. So that's pretty good compared to where I started in January, right? And filtering out a lot of things. I have a garage sale, a crafting garage sale actually at Scrap and Bean the last weekend of May. So I'm pretty excited about that and clearing out some good, well, we're all crafty people, so we all think our supplies are great. But these are ones that I enjoyed. They just don't fit my crafting style anymore. So I had a friend once. I was selling a bunch of dyes, like at 50 cents, a dollar, whatever, just to clear them out because I wasn't using them. So I'd rather they go to somebody else that's gonna be able to use them and enjoy them. Because she's like, oh, but you're getting rid of these. You spent so long collecting them. And it's like, yeah, but I don't want to collect them just for the point of collecting them. I mean, that is certainly a hobby, is collecting crafting supplies just for the sake of having crafting supplies, right? So like there's multiple facets of our craft here, right? We have the buying / collecting of the supplies, we have the storing / organizing the supplies, and then we have the actual using of the supplies. That's three different hobbies, actually, if you want to think about it. So, but really what I wanted to do is make space for the items that I actually do use. I don't have to use them all the time, but items that I will use frequently, or I actually have an idea for. If I don't, and I can't see myself using it, then I'm letting them go. So that's that's the big takeaway, is making sure that I'm purging as well. I have too much that I'm not using, so it's a waste of space, it's a waste of money, and it's a waste of time for me, because I still end up having to go through it, or it makes me feel guilty about what I have left. So yeah, so that was the other big takeaway that I had from the crafting Paper Crafters Get Organized summit. That was the word of it, is the Paper Crafters Get Organized summit, put on by Justine Hovey and Laurel Beard. And this was the second annual. So they had done it last year and had a lot of great feedback. Did it again this year. It's actually a program you can buy into, and then you get lifetime access to it. I didn't do that. I just just did it for the weekend and have the weekend set aside to watch a lot of videos and stuff. And I do recommend it if you're looking to, like next year when it comes up. It'll come up in April, I think. Your favorite YouTuber may send you info on it or whatever, or offer you a free ticket or something like that. But the other thing that was the big takeaway was to make sure that you're purging, like to really go through your craft supplies and really be honest with yourself about what am I going to use? Am I keeping it just because I spent a lot of money on it? And to give it away or to sell it or whatever would be a waste, and somehow admitting defeat, or that kind of thing, versus keeping it in my collection and feeling guilty because I'm not using it, that I've spent money on that, or I bought this, so I have to use it, versus what about the possibility of actually letting it go to somebody else who could enjoy it, use the supply, and then make space for the things that really do work for me and bring me joy. Also, so number one was purging, and number two was checking to get familiar enough with your supplies to see what do I already have, versus going out and having to buy the newest thing all the time, right? Certainly guilty of that. Every new release is like, oh, I love that, and oh, I love that, and oh, I just want that, and yeah, very guilty of that. So anyway, that's where I'm at for the month.
Hubby and I have been talking, and I think I'm going to move my office, like my day-to-day office, downstairs here because it's summertime. So in the winter, it's actually fairly warm down here, and I have a heater. But in the summertime, the office, because I'm on the upper floor and it's on the west side of the house, so I get full sunlight from noon on and it just bakes in there. And last year there were a couple of days where it was 27, 28, almost 30 degrees in my office because I close the door by the time hubby gets home in the afternoon. So yeah, it was hot. So cleaning up the area, had a really couple of good ideas. So I'm hoping that that'll be done for beginning of June. We'll see. We'll see if I get it done or not. So beginning of June to mid-June is what I'm hoping. I'm hoping to have my artwork done for this by the end of the month here as well. I have a plan for this empty space here. And yeah, and so emptying a couple more boxes and some more purging. Like I said, I have that garage sale at the end of the month. So I want to make sure I've already got 4 boxes of things to go in. And then a whole bunch of freebies for another garage sale or maybe I might just donate them to like a school or a senior center or something like that. Or there's the garage sale in October. So, um, yeah, that's where I'm at so far. And please share in the comments how you're coming along with your organizing. Are you still keeping up? And or are you tired of hearing about the organizing and yeah, going through your stuff and everything like that? Let me know. I'm enjoying the process. It's kind of keeping me accountable, which I appreciate. Thanks so much, guys. I love it. Anyway, that's going to be it for me today. Hope you have a great day. Happy crafting, happy organizing. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Excuse me, and send it to your friends as well. All right. Thank you. Love y'all. Bye bye.